Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just finished watching a video of I guess she's new. I don't know her name. I don't know her name, but I will say this much. She has very good equipment. Seems like the show is scripted, and I looked at it and I gave her a prop. She did a good job with that. But she does something that a lot of us have issues with. She's talking about gardening in the sense that um, she needs to give you this information and sell a book. And without the book, without her knowledge, you will not be successful. That's what it sounded to me. Instead of her actually just getting on there and trying to help, individuals, she didn't do that. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, backyard garden? I'm glad somebody got on here that was going to say hello because I had one. I think I had one person on that was just there. You just see the one, and that's it. And I'm looking and saying, okay, maybe they're gonna say good evening or good day or something to that nature. They never did. They just sort of hung in there, I just got off it, and it was a young lady, and I guess she's new. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, backyard gardener. Um, the excuse me, the young lady did another thing. She's new, and she's trying to earn money at this, and I can understand it, and I can absolutely respect that. But I don't know if you want to make money off people who some people are struggling. I mean, it's a good deal if you somewhere and say, hey, look, you know, here it is. But I saw it. She gave you some information, which by the way was good. She had everything scripted. She had everything laid out so you can hear when she's talking that it's all scripted. Um, Norris, I think her name was. It's not a big deal, but anyway. Uh, and all I wanted to do was say, don't do that. Just give this information to the people. I mean, God darn. Um, so what she was doing is feeding her garden in the winter, more so in the fall and winter, late fall, early winter. Absolutely. I've been saying it forever and a day, but the difference in me is I give it away and I keep it simple. So I sent her a little note saying, just keep it simple. Don't do that to people. She's talking as though well, she's got a book that she's selling, and she's making it sound like without the book, without her knowledge, you're not going to be that successful. So buy the book and you can grow successfully. And what she's showing you is she's giving her plants manure and what was it, compost in the fall and winter months. Perfect. Mother Nature's been doing it that way for millions of years. And that's the same thing I've been saying all along. It may not seem like a waste of time. It may seem sometimes like it doesn't matter, but feeding your garden in the dead of winter, in a late fall, is where you want to go. It's exactly where you want to go. because those trees, those fruit trees, those fruit bushes will sit there all winter long, storing, eating, and be ready, and ready to pounce when the weather breaks. Oh, I like the way you said that right there. Mother Nature gives it free. You could feed them plants wood branches. You could feed them grass clippings. You could feed them manure. You could feed them compost. You could leaves. Come on, it just goes on and on and on. And she was making it sound like, well, you got to do it this way in order to be successful. And buy my book. Buy my book is what she said. And so I had a problem with that. I had a problem with that because there's too many of us out here, and we're struggling. And every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. It's just a beautiful thing, and you want to make certain that you remember that it's nothing complex about gardening. Only people make it complex. It's nothing. It's so gardening is so simple that if you knew how simple it was, it would blow your mind. It would blow your mind if you knew how simple gardening was. So feed the trees, feed the bushes. Right now is the time of year to do it. Those leaves that fell here early part of the year, most of them are gone there in trees. Those leaves are black gold. They're nothing but compost is all they are. Compost. And you put them around the trees, you put them around the bushes, and you let them die and rot down. And then next thing you know, when the weather changes, all your blueberries are big, pretty, and sweet. All your fruit trees are full of swollen up, full of fruit that is just absolutely sweet as it can be, crunchy and healthy. And that's what you want, folks. That's what you want. And I had a problem with what she did. I think she has a right to use her channel in the way she wants to and put it out there like that. But some people will fall into that and go, oh, wow, look at her big, beautiful blueberries and her big, beautiful fruit trees. Oh, my goodness, I've got to get her a book because I don't know how to do this. When in fact, if they only paid attention to nature, and then you see how nature does it. The leaves fall to the ground. The biology in the soil breaks them down into a usable form for the tree or the bush, and it goes back into the tree, and it cycles back up when the weather changes and everything. And that's the whole deal. That's the whole deal. There's nothing complex about that. I had a friend contact me from my job, you know, and what she was saying is that her collard greens are excuse me, her collard greens thank you for sharing my opinion, and I appreciate that because I don't want to put it on here and put people stress them out because they're not growing a decent garden. All you got to do is just so simple. Is feed the soil. It's that simple. Don't worry about the plant so much. Worry about the food you put in the soil and put it in there. And I've had one person ask me, it stuck with me for years, and uh, they said, how, I said, how much organic matter can I put in the soil? I said, as much as you can get in that soil. As much as you can get in that soil, put it in there. You'll be better off for it. So that's how it works. And that's how I do it. I put it in there. I got some tree branches that are hanging over in my yard. I want to cut down, uh, and when I cut them down, I want to use those and put them. I want to put those in my garden, and that's what I do. Nothing complex about it, folks. Nothing. Planet's nothing really but a pump. That's all it is a pump. Hello, how you doing? We were just talking about taking care of the soil in the early time of the year. Are you going to relocate your trees at the side door? What trees need a side door? Wait a minute, let me see. Side door. You're not talking about the shed, are you? Oh, wait a minute. The video. You saw the video. Is that the new video I just put up? I saw another one of your mushroom videos, the big, huge video, mushroom I saw. I saw that, and I was like, wow, I didn't know they grew that big. And I like what the person that was putting it. Okay, you got hay. Oh, that's food forest permaculture. Okay, abbreviation. I'm not used to those yet, but I'm from a different age group. Let's see. Yeah, I was looking at your videos that you put up, and when you came out the side door, you had two trees. All right, all right there. I think you're talking about when I said the trees are blocking the entrance and exit out of that door. I think that's what you're talking about. The recent video I just put up. I didn't move. No. I didn't move the trees. No. All I did with those trees is measured how much room I need coming out, and I cut all the branches from both sides that head out into that aisle, so to speak. And that's it. And now I got the whole thing opened up. Yeah, I mean those trees are. Let's see, there's two trees. They're 21 inches apart. I love doing them that way because I've seen some videos, and I gotta say I love that. One guy dug him a hole. He put four trees in that one hole, and he said, "I like doing it this way as opposed to putting one tree in that hole that says it might grow five different types of pears or five different types of apples." Because he said with those type trees, when they die, all apples die. But if you have one tree die, you still got three more apple trees there in that one spot. Um, and you might be able to recover from by sticking another apple tree down in there and getting it to grow. But the deal is when it comes to growing them separate, it's just a better deal. But you got to put the one that's the most vigorous tree, furthest away from the sun so it doesn't overshadow the rest of them. And put the one that's the slowest growing tree, the less vigorous tree, so to speak, put it right there aimed at the sun so it could get the benefits of that energy from the sun more so than the other one. Um, Now, there is a tree I have outside, and it's called a bing. Wait a minute. Hold up. Is that a bing? I had a tree die. It was a cherry tree, and it was weird how it did it. It put on all these berries that were weird and less leaves, and then it died the following year. Or it was already dead, but you finally you knew it was dead. Here's what happened to it. When it left, I went online and checked out a couple videos at the University of YouTube, and it showed that when the tree is dead, you can find which way it rocks more so, and then you could dig that tree up a lot easier going in the direction of where it's weakest or where it rocks more. I started rocking the tree, folks, and it came right out of the ground, and it had no roots on it. Now that I did not understand. It had no roots. It was just a ball where it was it looked completely dried. It had no roots. And I said, what did this? What did this? What did that? That tree that was about 3 years old, 4 years old, what did that to that tree? It had no roots on it whatsoever. And I was contemplating on whether or not I could stick another tree right in that same spot because whatever did that, is it still there? Was it some type of what did that to that tree that would get rid of the roots that were on it? And how come the tree that's 6 feet from it is not suffering from it, and the one on the opposite side is not suffering from it? I was just curious. Or could it have been the wrong tree in the wrong location, and that's why it died? But the roots were gone. I'm sorry. And that one video I just put up, please leave as many comments on it as you like. I do appreciate the feedback. My latest video, please leave feedback. I should say that in the video. I think I will start saying, hey, please leave some feedback. Leave some comments. Oh, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, large mushroom. Yep. And I looked at it and I was amazed, that they always grew. I think the size was 45 record, maybe it was bigger. I am composting using leaves, coffee grounds, and also the sugar method you and food culture talked about. I am having great results. You are going to continue to have great results because what you're using is a process that Mother Nature has used for millions of years. You're going to continue to have great success. I'm not surprised at that at all. At all. You're using the sugar, which will help break down the compost a lot faster. Then get you a shovel or two of your native soil and toss that over, sprinkle it in between the layers of the compost, or put it on top. And that biology that you're putting in that on top of that compost pile will start that process to really kick it off. Biology, forms of life. You put them over, get that shovel, and just shovel a little bit over there and put it right on top of that pile, and you'll see that pile start going down and going down, and you say, "When was doing this?" Well, for 24/7, 7 days a week, they are being eaten by biology, and it'll turn it into a pretty soil, and then you give that to your plants, and your plants will say thank you by feeding you sweet, sweet fruit or some very crunchy, sweet, high density food that'll be filled with nutrients that you'll be putting on your table, whether it be squash or zucchini, cucumbers, tomatoes, beautiful looking pieces of fruit that the grocery store cannot touch as far as quality. I go into the grocery store, like I went in there today and the day before that. I had an opportunity to go today, and they had some good looking food up there. and I almost bought something from them. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Yes, black pretty soil. Yes, yes, it is pretty. I mean, to me, soil is pretty when I see it, and it's either crumbly like a cottage cheese, or it's another thing is it's black and it's soft and it's fluffy and it smells so good when you smell it, and you just look at it and say, "Wow." When I started this garden, it was clay, and clay is hard for the soil to breathe in and out. It's just hard clay. It'll still do it, but when you loosen that soil with adding that mass to it, that compost, it just helps that soil just become so soft and fluffy. Growing your own food is a skill I think everyone should learn. It said your soil is beautiful. Oh my God, she just gave me a compliment. Thank you very much. She said your soil is beautiful. Thank you. Um, and I can't take credit for it. I gotta thank Mother Nature for it because I was just like a lot of gardeners. I went out onto my property. I had this ground for 20 years, and when I went out there, I used to look at the ground and say, "What am I trying to do?" The ground was hard. It was brown, and had this white or grayish marbling is what it had. When you put a shovel in it and dig it down about 3 to 4 inches, 5 inches maybe, it was this marbling, and it was this horrible soil. And I remember when I put my trees in, I remember calling the tree store and I said, "Hey, listen, my soil is clay. Will this tree?" She said, "Yeah, these trees are rootstock is especially meant to be used in people's soil that have a clay soil. It's just better for." She didn't know, she just told me that. But at any rate, I put the trees in, and needless to say, I lost some, kept some, and I kept shelling out money for these trees. And when I did that, when I shelled out money, I just couldn't believe that it was I was losing trees and growing trees and some of the trees are still out there that I purchased. The cherry trees, all I think all the apple trees I got from them are gone because they sold me the wrong trees and it was growing crab apples. So I didn't want to do that. But at any rate, I kept putting this grass clippings and kept putting these leaves around the base of these trees. I kept putting wood chips and everything. And when all this stuff rotted down, it created this beautiful, loomy black soil. And then I started noticing the increased numbers of worms. They were everywhere, but they were a certain type of worm. Maybe some of you know what they were. They wiggle real fast. They wiggle extremely fast, not like a regular worm, but they wiggle extremely fast. And so those are the worms that I kept calling them Alabama jumpers, but I wasn't sure exactly what they were. I just knew that they moved fast and they made excellent fish bait for when I went fishing. Instead of going to Walmart and giving them worms, I mean $3, $4 for worms. Yeah, that's ecosystem. Oh, thank you very much, Food Forest Permaculture. You said I have a nice ecosystem. And all I did, I just listened. I got a lot of information from you. I got a lot of information from other gardeners. I went online. I read everything and anything. I watched videos. I read books. Um, and it just, and I had the patience for it because what was happening to me is I was addicted to gardening and didn't even know it. So I have an addiction to gardening. I know that. If I went anywhere and I had a doctor examine me, psychologically, and he asked me about gardening, he would say, yes, he is definitely fixated on gardening. He's told me he's dreamed about it. He woke up at night reading, and he sleeps with his cell phone in his bed so that he can always read something or something relating to gardening. He goes to work thinking about it. He talks about it at work. He talks about it in the street. He anytime he sees a garden that is in the neighborhood, I got to stop and get out and go over and talk to people that don't even know me. This lady was like looking at me. She was over in a garden that was being set up by a college. And I went over to her and I looked at her garden and I looked at everyone else's garden. And I said, and I have a problem with telling the truth. I said, this is not very good. And she said, what do you mean? I said, there's no organic matter here. I said, this is all clay that you're digging in. I said, the tree that you have set up here, this fruit tree, I said, will be dead next year. I said, unless you take action against it. They had the tree, you know how you keep the flare above ground. They had it all the way under the ground where the tree could not breathe. And when they did that, I said, this tree cannot get oxygen. I said, this tree will be dead by next year. I drove by there 6 months later. That tree was dried up and dead. So, I didn't wish them any bad, but I just knew that tree did not look good. So it needed to be dug up. It needed to be uh, pulled out of the ground because somebody dug it and put it in the ground all the way up past that flare, put everything under the ground, and the tree just simply suffocated. And that's how that works. So it's a beautiful thing, folks. So people say, well, you got a nice addiction because to be addicted to growing food, I would love to have that addiction. But I'm learning that when you're in certain cultures, African Americans here in Baltimore, Maryland, for the most part that I've met, not all of them, but they don't really think they should be gardening. It's something that they don't want to do. It's such a big learning curve. I mean, they think it's going to be difficult. I have a neighbor that has a yard that's like 10,000 square feet, and he doesn't want to garden. And I looked at his soil; it's beautiful soil, and he doesn't want to garden. But he's one of the kind of people that he can go out and buy a car motor and buy the body of a car, take the motor out of that, put a motor back in the other one. And when I met the guy, I remember one time he was building a car and he had the motor in his living room working on it. I thought this guy was absolutely unique. I said he builds cars for his wife and himself, so they don't have to buy cars. They just go and jet skis. He built some jet skis. He bought a boat for like $500. They had a rotted out floor in it. He replaced the floor in the boat, redid the motor, and took it out on. And it was a better boat than when he first bought it because he put all this other kind of high tech equipment on the boat. And I said, "Wow!" I said, "This guy is no joke." Uh, and he deemed me to get interested in buying a boat, so I did it. You have a thank you. I do have because I got past the part of wanting to grow food big. Just because you can buy the seeds that are genetically set up for that and grow big, whatever. But I'd much rather grow food that is very dense with nutrients and sweet. That is my passion to grow grapes that when you bite into them, it's like a taste of absolute heaven. When you bite into a peach and it rolls down your arm, the juice, and you just say to yourself, oh, this is beautiful. This can't be real. There's something on this planet taste this good. I'm sorry, folks. Apples. A couple of days ago, I bit into it. I got the apples mixed up because what happened was the labels fell off the trees. And yes, we are all the same. We are all the same. Um, and what? You're addicted to backyard gardening, huh? I hear you. I hear you. And you take pride in what you do. When I go somewhere and someone says, "Oh, I garden," and I tell them about my uh, food orchard, and when I say that, they go, "What? You have food? Where do you live? Where do you live?" And they want to know because they figure I'm out on a big farm, which I'm not on a big farm. I am in the city. I have 25 fruit trees, a number of different bushes that produce food, and I care for them daily because I'm always out there. Um, and then when I discovered and found a way to feed all of these plants with plants that are already growing there, you folks know them, and you know what I've been calling them is weeds. And if you go to the video that I just put up, don't go now, but wait till after this is finished broadcasting. When you go to the video and you see the brown matter all over the ground, I'm here to tell you that when spring comes, 90% of that'll be gone. 90% of that'll be gone. I'll leave the roots in the ground when I hack this stuff. Think about it. The way that I am chopping and dropping, I see, I am a city gardener as well. You're a city gardener as well. I'm proud and glad to know you. When I go over it with the weed trimmer, think about this, folks. And I chop everything down 3 inches, close as I can get it, really. And I leave these roots in the ground, folks. You know what I'm doing? Those roots create pathways. They create pathways. And I think when that happens, it's just a beautiful thing. Oh, okay, backyard garden. Okay, thank you. I like that because a lot of people don't know that we are, city dwellers and we are growing food in the city. It's a matter of fact. So that's a good deal. Folks, I got to tell you this. I have thousands of okra seeds. It's one of my favorite foods. The only problem I have with it is sometimes I'll mess around and not get to it before it goes to seed. And when it goes to seed, some of you know that grow okra is that everything is hard and it develops these hard seeds inside, so you can't do anything with them but uh, collect the seeds. Now, when they hit the ground when they hit the ground, okra loves to overwinter, to come back in the fall and all. I love it. Um, the part of my yard that I use, the part of my yard is on the right. Barely used, rarely used, just got fruit trees back there. I need to start using it more. And, converting that into soft, loomy soil. Um, and that happens with when I take that trimmer out. I have a really nice trimmer, and I got my other one stolen, but somebody did that to me and set me back, and it was a really nice one, except for one thing, a couple of things. Well, it was designed wrong, which after they stole it, I was like, oh, I really didn't lose anything. Because when you're using it and you're going side to side, if you tap it on a rock, if you tap it against a tree, the whole unit that's up front will pop apart, and you got to find it, the spring or whatever else got lost. And I hated that. So I went and took it back to the store, got another fresh one the other one I had for like, let's say 2 weeks. When I got the other one, put it in there, gassed it up, back and forward, tapped it on a log, and it popped apart. I found the parts. I said, it's this unit. It's not me. This is unit. Then I went up there and bought another one. It was expensive. I call anything like $200 for a trimmer expensive. I think it was 200. Was it? Might have been a little over 200. So anyway, I got the one I got. I think it was a Troy built. I don't. I'm not gonna call it names. I'm not sure. This thing is beautiful because what it does is you pump the fuel in it 6 times, pull the cord. It actually, folks, it actually starts. Some of them won't start. They keep that quiet. They know these gas systems are not that good. Some of them, they won't start, but this one starts. And the trick is when you overwinter them, empty the gas out of this stuff. Don't leave it in there for the gas to lock it all up. And then when spring comes, you got devices around that won't start. And I'm gonna tell you something. I got a tractor sitting out there right now. I'm talking smack, but I better go out there tomorrow and empty that gas out, and then run the engine and let it completely empty out, because it's a terrible thing to have them where you out there and you can't get it started, and and you're thinking, my God, this is horrible. I could actually go to karaoke tonight, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. But anyway, here's where I'm at, folks. I love it. I found ways to go with nature as opposed to going against nature. When I had things in that garage, like a big tiller back in the day, I used that tiller religiously. I was loosening this soil up. It would rain. It would pack it back down. And I said, what did I do wrong? I said, this soil is packed down. It had no weeds in it. It was just tilled up, and it was disgusting. And I kept not understanding this tiller. And then I said, well, build some rows so that when you put the weeds in, excuse me, the plants in, you can still go up and down these rows in the middle and get these weeds out of here. And you can do that, and you'll be all set. Let's see here that. I'm sure YouTube. Oh my goodness! Thank you very much for that, food forest permaculture. I appreciate that. Um, I'm just saying, when I go out there, I just love it. But I'm telling you something, folks. Uh, I think the the trimmer is one of the best tools you can use in the garden if you're trying. Hello, how you doing? Uh, and you just trim the weeds down and leave them there. Trim them down and leave them there. And but you're gonna have to do that on a regular basis, and it might be the way you want to go, maybe not. I don't want to till. Uh, I could say ever again in life. I don't want to till. Um, that's part of it. I don't want to till. But the ground, breathe in and out like we do. Takes oxygen in and releases. Oxygen in, releasing carbon dioxide. It's just a beautiful system. Mother Nature made it. It's been functioning well for over millions of years, and now, yes, it is a no-till is the best for food production. And you'll have some farmers actually argue that point with you. But all you're really trying to do is from the location of where your plants are, you want to keep the weeds back from them. All you want to do is keep them back from your plants. I do 15 inches around each plant, and that usually helps. But when you keep the weeds out there on the ground, and the summer comes, now I want you to check this out because the next tool I'm going to get is going to be a temperature gun where I can hit the soil and tell what the temperature is. Because when the soil gets up in the summer and it's really hot out there, and you have tilled and opened the ground up, and there's nothing covering that ground, and that ground gets up somewhere around 140, 150 degrees, your plants are suffering. Okay, your biology in the soil is not doing anything if they're still alive, unless you go deeper. Um, but the when you leave a cover on the ground, whether it be wood chips, whether it be weeds, whether it be whatever you might use, the weeds or leaves or whatever, when you cover that ground and keep that temperature down, your plants will fare better than if you just let that sun just beat that ground up and it'll beat your plants up. You can also go out sometimes and put a little water down. It'll drop the temperature on that ground some. But who can afford that with the cost of water today? Unless they're doing what I'm doing, which is the rain barrels, and I can use water all day and not even think about it. You know, I can use water all day. Which are the oldest industrial agriculture no to agriculture now is no till absolutely, absolutely, yes, yes. Add that compost on top is the way to go. Hugelculture is a beautiful way to grow things. And I just want to say, folks, I want to, thank you. We have a small group in here, and it's always a great, great pleasure. And I just love it. I just love it because we love to talk about gardening, and we learn a lot of things. Supreme Family Garden. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. Food Park Permaculture, 50,000 years old. All right. Intel. Okay. I said I enjoy you live morning garden. Oh, thank you very much. You know something? I appreciate that because I figure people getting bored because me, I like to talk, but here's one thing I love doing, and it's something that I learned over the years. Never say nothing if you don't understand. Don't tell people stuff and have somebody sitting there and taking what you're saying and Googling it and seeing if it's factual, or someone that's sitting there that's got maybe 40 years of gardening experience and they're listening to you and going, that don't make any sense. That doesn't work. He's saying this incorrectly. Yeah, I mean, but what I do is I go by 20 years of gardening experience and everything I've read and all of the other gardeners out there has been, uh, you know, you know, happy to share with others. You know, oh, thank you very much, permaculture. So true, so true. I just want to say that when I hear a person speak, I, you know, always listen to them. That's one thing I got to listen. And when I hear them talking about things that are factual, I go, okay, this person know what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about. They're either speaking from experience or they're speaking from years of study and also experience or just years of study. They know what they're talking about. When I see professional farmers, and I say professional meaning that they earn money at it. That's all. They earn money at it. Um, they have all these beautiful tools that they're using, and they're spending tons of money, and they're using all this technology. And I saw it was a guy who was well, it's on one of the I think it's on TikTok. No, it's on Facebook. He was using a drone to spray his crops, and he said that this drone has a capacity of 6 hours of spray, and it was going up and down the roads. It was spraying the crops up and down the roads. It was spraying, and it didn't do like a regular huge plane would do, where it would dive down and just hit all this big cloud would hit all of didn't do that. It was strategically hitting either certain plants or it was just going up and down the aisles that however he set it to do what it's got to do. It was spraying the food. Now, me being a person that knows common sense, know that this is not the right way to farm food. I said this is not. You should not have to use a chemical on your food if you're doing it, the natural way. You should not have to do that. Let me explain what I mean by that. I learned 4 years ago that when I started using the chop and drop, and the weeds will grow up. Sometimes they be 2 feet tall. Sometimes I'm being honest, folks. Sometimes they be 4 feet tall. If I don't get out there and do it, if I'm got a cold or I'm busy at work and I don't get out there to get them, in no time they'll be 4 feet tall. And none of my plants will be eaten by anything. No, nothing would be eaten off of these plants. And I said, wonder what's going on here. My yard's loaded with grasshoppers, and well, not loaded, but I have a number of them in here. Most of them are crickets and everything else. Okay, then watch this. When I walk through the garden, move things aside, I see praying mantis. I see those. And they're actually starting to leave their eggs in my fruit trees, which they don't have a problem with me because I will not spray them and I will not remove them. They're praying mantis. I had a total of 9 nests in my trees last year, folks. And that I love because that means that they have an environment where they know that there are insects there and they go for them. They are praying mantises. They are I think there's a Japanese variety or Chinese variety. They're green and they grow a pretty good size to them, but they're green in color. And but at any rate, let me I digress. Here's what I want to say. Praying mantis in a tree, you can always tell their nest, and they will attach them to a branch. And when the trees drop all of their leaves, that's when you'll see them on the trees. That's when you'll see them. Yeah, I welcome them as well. They have a home anytime they want to come here. So when the weeds are out there, instead of eating up my collard greens, instead of eating up my squash plants, instead of eating up my okra plants, folks, they're eating the weeds. They're natural food to that area. That's what they're eating. They're eating weeds because that's what they're adjusted to. That's what they know to be there. That's what they thrive on is weeds. Now, inside the grass, as you pull grass and weeds, look through them, there's spiders all down at the base of those plants, those jumping spiders. And then they got the praying mantis up top that are hanging on top or midway up in the grasses. They're there. Ladybugs are out there. I don't know if I have a lot of ladybugs. I don't know. I don't see a lot of them, but I do know that I have a lot of what we call praying mantis and spiders. And I see spiders eating. Well, I did see a weird thing. It was a yellow jack, and he was eating a butterfly. And I was thinking, wow, they eat flesh. They don't just eat pollen. They eat flesh. I know of a young lady that has problems with spiders. I do. But here's one thing I want to tell you about spiders so that it might help a little bit. Every time I'm walking through, I never worry about them because I always see them running. They're always running. And at night, if I walk through an area of my garden and the web catches your face, I kind of never panic because uh, based on how you strike the web, the spiders know if they can handle that prey or not. Because if it just walked through the web, they figure, oh hell, this is too big for me to handle. But if it's struggling in the web, they'll come out and do what they got to do. Um, but in the uh, garden that I have jumping spiders filled with babies all on their backs and things like that. They'll either be in the compost pile, and the reason why they're in the compost pile, everyone knows that's an ample food supply because everything lives in the compost pile. Everything migrates in that area because of the food supply there, and that's why they do it. So I see a mother spider out there, and I'm digging in the compost pile, and she runs out of the compost pile and attaches herself to the garage wall, and I'm looking at her closely, and I see all these thousands of babies on her back, and I look and say, "Damn, that's a good mother right there. She's taking care of her kids. She's taking care of them. They're all on her back." So I will leave her there. I've got videos of spiders deep inside my archive of videos, hundreds of videos I have, and to find it would be absolutely impossible. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Now the wasps were vicious this year uh, to me because they find their way in my attic, and they kept coming downstairs or somehow coming in here. So I had to keep what I had to keep. I had to keep this. This actually works on wasps. This is the top dog of any kind of spray out there. So I just want to let you know that. Well, good people, this has been the Morning Gardener, and I got to go. Take care of a couple of things. Who knows? I might go to karaoke. I might not. I don't know. But thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember to keep on growing. And thank you again. And some of you new people here, tune back in, and we'll do it again. Thank you.